First at noon, we're hearing from Big Island's interim police chief after 2 of his officers have been charged with criminal offenses. Noah Sarau and Blaine Canolio are accused of searching the bags of detainees without a warrant or consent. Sarau, who was suspended for 50 days following an internal investigation, is now charged with perjury, false swearing in official matters, and tampering with a government record. Canolio is charged with tampering with physical evidence and was suspended for 24 days.
Those policies and procedures and those laws and those responsibilities that we have are clear. And, in this case, those policies and procedures, when a situation like this occurs, everybody has to remember that the public trust is more important than anyone. It's more important than me. It's more important than any individual within the police department. Because if we don't have public trust, we really don't have anything.
Sarau faces up to 7 years in prison. Canolio faces up to 1 year behind bars. Both are due in court today. New at noon, starting in October, specially trained police officers will be on campus at several Oahu schools. HPD, in partnership with the Department of Education, is launching the School Resource Officer Pilot Program at Waianae, Kapolei, and Kaimuki high schools. Their goal is to make connections and inspire teenagers to follow in their footsteps.
When officers are present as consistent, trusted adults, it can strengthen school communities. The officers assigned to this pilot are on campus first and foremost as mentors. They're there to listen, guide, and build relationships.
The 3 participating schools were identified collaboratively based on readiness, leadership interest, and opportunities to support student engagement and learning.
At the end of the school year, the DOE and HPD will evaluate the program and decide whether to continue or expand. The same firm that helped find police chiefs in Chicago, Public Sector Search and Consulting, was recently awarded the nearly $122,000 contract. They'll begin by getting input from community members, HPD employees, and partner organizations. A job posting and invitation will follow in about 3 months. The Honolulu Police Department has been led by Interim Chief Roddy Vanek since former Chief Joe Logan retired last summer. Maui police have released the body cam video leading up to last day's shooting of an armed man in a field. Chelsea Davis has
reporting in Wailuku. I'm Chelsea Davis for Hawaii News Now.
Meanwhile, HPD is investigating a brutal dog attack in Ewa Beach. It happened along Fort Weaver Road last Thursday. Norman Sui says he was walking his dog when 2 other canines slipped under the fence of a home and attacked them. They jumped onto the hood of a parked car to escape before a Good Samaritan drove by and offered them a ride to get away. His 9-year-old Labrador Retriever, Lily, needed 38 stitches on her back after part of it was bitten off. Sui's pinky was dislocated while trying to fend off the dogs. He also got a large bruise on his back. Sui and his wife adopted Lily less than 2 months ago.
I don't want to get emotional about it, but ever since my daughter went to the Coast Guard at 18 years old, it's like a missing part of our family. But that dog she filled that spot.
You can find a GoFundMe page linked to help cover Lily's medical expenses on our website.
And happy Wednesday, everybody. Let's take a look outside. The National Weather Service has issued a wind advisory for parts of the state for breezy southerly winds as the atmosphere is priming itself for our next rainfall chance. It's pretty breezy. Let's take you outside. Our live tower cam is shaking. We're seeing such strong southerly winds, right around 21 miles per hour. Humidity is on the rise as we start to see more southerly winds introducing that humidity in the atmosphere. Just taking a look, pretty breezy. We're starting to see more southwesterly winds ahead of the front that's just off to the northwest of Kauai, and you can see a few showers out there this afternoon. Let's actually zoom in closer to Kauai where you can see those heavier showers starting to move in as the front's moving closer to Kauai. I'll give you a full breakdown of this coming up.
Thank you, Drew. On the Garden Isle, a potential closure of Kauai Coffee Company could lead to the layoffs of about 140 employees. As Raquel Kahlo reports, it comes as Kauai Coffee is facing uncertainty over its land lease.
And that lease expires March 28th, just 74 days away. And at last week's county council meeting, Kauai Coffee senior advisor warned what's at stake.
We harvest anywhere from 10 to 12 million pounds of cherry coffee, which needs to be processed into about 1 million to 2 million pounds of green coffee. We have 141 employees that covers all of those responsibilities.
All 141 employees received warn notices Monday, putting longtime workers, some with decades at the company, on notice of pending job loss.
But 30% of our workforce has over 10 years with us. We have people with 20 years, 3 people with 50 years.
Currently, over 4,000 acres of Kauai coffee lands is up for sale. The expiring lease is between Brew Buckle Capital Partners and Kauai Coffee Company, which is operated by Massimo Zanetti Beverage USA.
I know both organizations. I'm hoping to meet up with the landowner and be able to see if we can just brainstorm some ideas, because I can't imagine that they want Kauai Coffee to fail.
Councilmember Felicia Cowden says the potential loss goes beyond coffee production. It directly affects people and families across the island.
It is the end of March when they're supposed to be gone. That is a huge piece, and to even have months of disruption. A lot of those workers are probably already looking for the next place to work. People cannot take a disruption in pay.
In a statement provided by ILWU Local 142, they say in part, quote, BBCP has not told Kauai Coffee, elected officials, or the community what its plans are for this land. That is not how decisions that affect this many local people should be made. We reached out to BBCP regarding an extension of the lease and are still waiting for a response. Raquel Kahlo for Hawaii News Now.
To national news, President Trump has been vocal on his desire to seize Greenland, but that country's officials say no thanks. Those talks came to a head today as diplomats from Greenland and Denmark met with U.S. officials at the White House. Melanie Zanona has the details from Washington.
Greenland is not for sale. That's it from Danish and Greenland officials in their meeting with Vice President Vance and Secretary Rubio.
The president has made his view clear, and we have a different position. Ideas that would not respect territorial integrity of the Kingdom of Denmark and the right of self-determination of the Greenlandic people are, of course, totally unacceptable.
Despite President Trump's latest heated talk of taking over the Arctic territory.
If we don't take Greenland, Russia or China will, and I'm not letting that happen.
Greenland is an autonomous territory belonging to Denmark, but has its own officials and is self-governing. And the Prime Minister adamant that his country does not want to be owned or governed by the United States. Since his first term, President Trump has eyed the Arctic island, claiming it's vital for national security. But it's also rich in natural resources and is also crucial for new shipping routes and defense positions. Danish and Greenland officials signaling they're open to a deal to expand the U.S. military footprint on the Arctic island.
We have been pushing for quite a while in NATO for a stronger collective role in Greenland together with a number of allies. And we are eager to work with the US on advancing this agenda, and we are prepared to go further.
All the talk of a takeover has put Greenlanders and European leaders on edge, but those same leaders vowing to support Greenland and Denmark.
It is important that the Greenlanders know, and they know this by the deeds, not only by the words, that we respect the wishes of the Greenlanders and their interests, and that they can count on us.
While President Donald Trump has not ruled out military action to acquire Greenland, buying it is also an option. However, it could be an exorbitant price tag. According to 3 people familiar with the matter, it could cost the United States as much as $700 billion in order to buy the Danish territory. Melanie Zanona, NBC News, Washington.
Millions of Americans with federal student loans could soon see their paychecks and their credit score take a hit. I'm Jill Schlesinger.
Also ahead on This Is Now, the Sony Open is back at Wailea. Casey Lund takes us there in 2 minutes. borrowed money from the Department of Education to pay for college and are behind on those student loan payments, the Trump administration is cracking down. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger explains what's happening and steps you can take.
The Department of Education is sending out notices that could impact more than 5 million federal student loan borrowers who are in default. Even if you have not yet received notification, it's important to understand the process when you do not pay your loans on time. When you miss a payment, even just one, you are considered delinquent. Once a payment is 90 days late, it gets reported to credit bureaus, which dings your credit score, making it harder and more expensive to get approved for credit cards, car loans, or mortgages. You are considered in default after 270 days of non-payment. The DOE is notifying those in student loan default that their wages will be garnished, which means the government can take up to 15% of your paycheck directly without going to court. Federal benefits like Social Security and income tax refunds could also be tapped for repayment. So if you're in default, contact your loan servicer immediately. You have a few options: loan rehabilitation, making 9 affordable payments over 10 months, loan consolidation into a new direct loan, or switching to an income repayment plan that fits your budget. The key is acting quickly before garnishment begins. The Department of Education says more notices will be going out in the months ahead. In New York, I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
The wall that heals has arrived in the islands. The 3/4 scale replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. arrived at its new location yesterday. It will be on display at UH West Oahu through next week, Monday. Look for more at the Wall That Heals Oahu 2026.org. The PGA Tour is back in Hawaii as the Sony Open tees off the 2026 season at Waialae Country Club. This year's field is stacked with major champions, rising stars, and even a pair of local golfers representing the islands. Casey Lund takes us there.
Aloha from the Sony Open here, the putting green where a lot of folks are warming up. I'm going to use my golf voice the best I can as some of these pros are getting ready to head out with a lot of the sponsors. Of course, this is the Pro-Am. The tournament itself kicks off tomorrow. We are watching some amazing athletes. We've heard from tournament director Ray Stosick that this is one of the most stacked tournaments they've had in a long time. 120 players vying for that $9 million plus purse, a little bit over 1.6 of that's going to go to the champions. So there's a lot at stake here, and the competition's going to be pretty fierce. So hopefully the weather holds. We talked to Ray a little bit about just what this tournament means, not only for the PGA, but more importantly for the community here in Hawaii.
The PGA Tour has been a good partner in a number of different areas that affects the charity and the community, and not to mention we're on global coverage television throughout the world, and seeing Hawaii's beauty at this time of the year, hopefully many people will come for tourists. The reason we've given over $26 million over the years is because of the volunteers, 1,200 to 1,500 annually. We've had volunteers come from the mainland, all over the mainland, and from Japan. Here are people that come over and spend a week's vacation in Hawaii, and they volunteer for a golf tournament. It doesn't get much better than that.
And he mentioned those 1,500 volunteers. We caught up with one of the men in charge of making sure they all know where they're supposed to be ahead of tournament time.
But we get here, I get here at 3:30 in the morning to start the coffee, because all the volunteers need food, coffee to start the day. But we're here to support the tournament and keep the pros happy. We have Corbin Kalama here, head from Friends Hawaii Charities here. He comes here, that we basically work for them to raise money for the community, and then it goes back to the community.
I also caught up with Corey Connors, a Canadian golfer that we spoke to before his tee time at 7:10 this morning about what it's like playing here and starting the tournament in Hawaii. To be honest, travel's nothing new to us, and it's kind of part of the gig, what we're used to. 9th year out here on the PGA Tour, 9th time coming here to the Sony Open, so the travel doesn't bother me, and I'm always excited to start the year in Hawaii, and this year's no different. Really, I've been really excited to get out here.
A reminder, 50 to 75,000 spectators come to the Sony Open every year. There's no parking here, so if you want to come down, which you should, and support some of these amazing athletes, many of them, a few of them I should say, with Hawaii ties, there are all kinds of shuttles, all that information online at the Sony Open's website. We have that at HawaiiNewsNow.com. Reporting from Waialae Country Club, I'm Casey Lund for Hawaii News Now.
Hey, thank you so much, Casey. Stick around. Coming up after the break, we'll give you a look at our full First Alert weather forecast. The details are just ahead.
First Alert Weather with Drew Davis.
All right, well, happy Wednesday, everybody. Here's what we're tracking in our First Alert Weather headlines. We've got a chance for rainfall going into tonight. Ahead of that front that's going to be bringing all that rainfall, we've got breezy south winds. So you can see that's going to be tonight into Thursday. The wind advisory lasts until 6 p.m. this evening. Also, high surf out on most north and west facing shores. Another extra large swell is going to be moving in as we're going into Thursday. Here's a quick look at our First Alert radar and satellite again. Let's just zoom out and show you this front that's moving in closer to us. Ahead of it, you can see a lot of actually lightning getting picked up on our satellite out there. Zooming in closer to Kauai over the last hour or so, we've seen some heavier showers over Niihau and just offshore, likely seeing some heavier rainfall along the Nepali coast of the island. Some light showers moving in from the south. Relatively quiet across the rest of the island chain. We're seeing a few pop-up showers with these breezy southerly winds, but you'll notice they're moving very quickly up towards the north, and also seeing some moisture moving in from the southeast, actually moving in towards Puna, but those showers have been dissipating over the last hour or so. Let's break down this First Alert Futurecast because there's a lot to talk about. Going forward, we're expecting this rainfall to move over Kauai as we're going into this afternoon and start to move down later tonight towards Oahu. So late tonight, early tomorrow morning is when we're expecting the heaviest rainfall, moving over Maui County by the time we get to tomorrow morning. And then right now we're expecting this to kind of stall and fall apart over near Hawaii Island. So some lingering moisture for the Big Island, but the main thing is these northerly winds we're going into Friday really pulling the low temperatures down. We might see a couple inches of rainfall over near Kauai as the front continues to move in later tonight. Some heavier showers possible for Oahu, but closer to half an inch, maybe an inch of rainfall over near parts of Maui County. Less rainfall for Hawaii Island out there. Some isolated areas over towards Volcano and over near the Hamakua coast might be seeing some higher rainfall totals. Like I've been mentioning, the northerly winds really are the story. We're going to be seeing our low temperatures, especially going into tonight, getting into the low 70s, upper 60s, and the northerly winds are going to be sticking around. Let's take you into Friday morning, because take a look. We'll be seeing those temperatures getting down to around the mid 60s out there. So very cold for Hawaii standards. Blanket weather for sure. High surf advisories continue for north and west facing shores. These will likely be upgraded again to a high surf warning. Just take a look at the surf forecast going into Thursday morning. 25 to 35 feet out there. Likely another high surf warning on the way. Wednesday and Thursday highlighted in red. Showers moving in tonight and throughout Thursday. I'll give you another look at our 7-day forecast coming up.
Thanks, Drew. Still to come, this video of a tiny deer challenging a massive rhino has gone viral. We're going to show you why in 2 minutes. Take a look at this footage. It has viewers saying, "Oh dear." A battle of epic proportions took place at a Polish zoo when a tiny deer took on a colossal rhino and seemingly won. The 37-pound deer named Muntjac Dad seemed undaunted, staring down Marussia, the nearly 2-ton Indian rhino. The zoo's social media post of the surprising standoff has gone viral, and the zoo says Marussia is very gentle and aware of her size. This mismatched duo share an enclosure designed to mimic their natural habitat.
A very David and Goliath situation.
I know, it's
there.
so cute. Look at that rhino. Well, a police chase in Florida has an officer on a wild goose chase.
Well, technically, it's a wild emu chase. Take a look at this.
Interesting. I'm in pursuit of an emu. I'm currently behind the emu. He's running back southbound in the middle of the road. Come here. Come here, come here, come here.
A police officer responded to a runaway emu on a county road in Florida. The large bird ignored his commands, kicked several times using its large talons, and fled on foot recklessly. After a short chase, the officer secured it with a makeshift lasso and handcuffed its legs. The emu was reunited with its owners and returned home safely. All criminal charges against the emu were dropped.
Done resisting?
Pretty cool.
Sure that officer did not think he was going to do that.
Well, man,
that day.
I can't believe he used his handcuffs on like the legs of the
That's
bird.
very smart.
That's it's some good thinking. All right, here's our 7-day forecast. Again, another chance for rainfall tonight and Thursday. Pretty nice going into this weekend and the beginning of next week. Pretty cool out there as well. So again, make sure to stay tuned to our First Alert Weather app for the latest information.
Thanks for watching, everybody. More news at 4 right here on K-Channel.